My name is Tyson. I'm the small engine department manager here at North 40 Outfitters. Today we're going to look at some of the basic service components and things that a customer can do for themselves to prepare their product for spring without having to bring it into a service center. However, we do have a full line service center that will help you with any of your needs if those arise. So some of the basic service items that you can do on chainsaws are pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and a lot of them can be done utilizing the simple tool called the scrunch. If you've bought a new chainsaw, these products come with it, so they're really handy. They're multi-function, screwdriver tip, and then an end that'll help you loosen up your clutch cover to adjust your chain, and then also help you remove your spark plug. So good tool to have around, good tool to always keep with you. So first we'll start by looking at a steel chainsaw here. This is a MS 250, great all-around saw. It has a simple cover release right here, just this little knob. We lift that out of the way, and when we do that, it automatically accesses our air filter, which is right here, which I've already popped loose. And then there's a little shield here. You want to make sure you get this item back in there. This affects the airflow, so this is very important to have in there. Basically what happens with this is pretty common on a lot of steel chainsaws, but basically sitting in there like this, it's ready for summer running. And then if you reverse it, then it's set up for winter running. So it's actually going to pull more heat off the engine to your air filter. So you're getting warmer air to your engine, gonna make it perform better when it's cold out. So, and then your spark plug is right under here. Spark plugs are obviously crucial to the operation of your saw, but there's several things you can look at when dealing with spark plugs. You wanna look at your gap, which is this small amount right here between the electrode. What you're looking for there is your electrode rounded, worn down? Do you have a lot of buildup in there from carbonization and things like that? What does the plug look like? Is it overall fairly clean, or does it just look kind of junky? There's several items that we're going to talk about that I recommend replacing on an annual basis, really, no matter how good or bad they look. If you use your product very regularly, these are maintenance items that are just practical to do on that annual basis and can save you a trip to the shop and prolong the life of your product. Now, one of the things that can be a little bit trickier to change yourself, but I can give you some tips on today, is your fuel filter. So your fuel filter is obviously located down inside the fuel reservoir. Frequently, if you have long enough fingers, you can reach in there and grab the fuel line and pull the fuel filter out. If not, the other easy option is to take a piece of wire, just bend a little hook in the end of it, and then you'll be able to reach down in there and snag that fuel line. But a pretty simple way to just reach in there, grab your fuel filter. Once you have the fuel filter out, just give it a little twist and then a little tug, and it'll come off, and that's the simplest way to change your fuel filter. Now, one of the great things that Steel and Husqvarna, as we'll get to in a minute, also do is service kits. So this is a service kit for this particular Steel chainsaw. Inside the kit is your air filter, your fuel filter, and your spark plug. So everything you need to kind of do just a basic tune-up to get you ready to go. I keep one of these with me all the time in my chainsaw case, just because you never know what you're going to need in the field, and it's pretty inexpensive and just great products to have around with you. So air filter just pops back on, tab on each side, usually easiest to get one started, and then pop it into place. Make sure your multi-function lever is all the way down when you're getting ready to put your cover back on, otherwise it's not going to want to go into place properly. So there we go, get that lined up, then this should just lock over. We can pop our lever back up. From there, we will take a look at the Husqvarna product. So kind of cool on the Husqvarna product. No tools required to pop this one apart either. There's just tabs right here, so you just pop these tabs, take the cover off, and then there's a clip here over the air filter. Your air filter just comes off right there, And then your spark plug underneath here, which I've already loosened up. And all the same ideas apply to this plug that apply to the other one. And then the fuel filter on this one as well, same thing, located here in the fuel tank. This one you're able to remove the fuel cap a little bit easier, but then the same concept, same kind of tool. You're going to reach down in there, snag your fuel filter and bring that out. Those are some basic items that you can do. One of the things that I would like to talk about on chainsaws is what I call, and manufacturer calls too, the muffler screen or exhaust screen. So it is a screen located inside of here. Granted, I didn't pick the easiest models to display that, but if you're having running issues, your saw is hard starting, doesn't want to rev up real well, maybe lacking power, it could be that your muffler screen is plugged. This one here is right on the top. There's I don't know if you can see that, but there's a screw there, and you just slide that out. So those are replaceable, but they're also very cleanable too. The best way to get the carbon off of those is to take a torch, obviously holding it with a pair of pliers or something like that. Take a torch, just burn that off. It's probably gonna get red hot, but burn all the carbon off, let it cool down, and then gently just hit it with a wire brush to get anything else that's left. And that'll clear that screen, make it reusable, and you don't have to replace it at that point. If it gets damaged, you'll still want to replace it. But so everything that we're talking about here today, we kind of went over the spark plug. Air filters, don't just look for them to be dirty, look for them to be damaged or permeated in any way. It's a very cheap replacement part that can drastically affect the life of your product. So not worth skimping on. Be sure to, rather than cleaning, if there's any hesitation, just replace the air filter. So one other component on chainsaws that we should discuss is chain adjustment. You can also do sharpening as well. We do have the tools in store that we can offer you to do some touching up of your chain. So this is your clutch cover. Generally, you'll just loosen. You can remove too. You'll remove this cover to replace your bar and chain. Just want to give you an idea what that looks like. But you don't have to remove it to just simply tighten the chain. Basically, you just want these nuts loose. And then with your scrunch, there is a screw right in here. If we twist that clockwise, that's going to tighten up our chain. If we go counterclockwise, it's going to begin to loosen our chain. Now, you don't want to take this and go down as tight as you can get it and get this to where it doesn't come up off the bar at all. That would be a bad idea. The reason I say that is because as you're tightening your chain, as you tighten these nuts here, it's going to increase the tightness of the chain to the bar. So my typical rule of thumb is get this to where it feels like it has some tension on it, and then I'll go ahead, tighten down my bar nuts. Bar nuts do not have to be super tight. You don't want to twist on these too hard because you can actually twist off a stud or something like that in the housing. But good and snug is my reference on those. Okay, so once those are good and snug, then we look at our chain. So what you're looking for on your chain as far as proper tightness, when I pull up on the chain, what I want to see is my drive links just being right at the top of the bar, as you can see here. And then when you let go of that chain, it should snap right back down into the groove of the bar and be ready to run. Make sure your brake is disengaged, and then you can give that a little spin there. Looks like we should be ready to go. So I thank you for watching our video today. I hope you learned some valuable product knowledge. If you would have any questions, you can just comment or come into the store and talk to one of our skilled, trained sales associates. I'd also ask that you like and subscribe to see more videos like this. And thanks again for taking some time to let us visit with you today.